It's right around 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Your house is silent. The heater is humming softly, and you are currently pinned against the very edge of your mattress. You are hanging on for dear life because your 70-pound dog has decided that the middle of your bed is the only place on earth they can exist right now. Just 3 feet away, sitting in the shadows, is that $200 orthopedic memory foam bed you bought them. It has cooling gel, reinforced edges, and more glowing reviews than a 5-star hotel. Yet, it sits there, cold and abandoned. Why? Most people will tell you it's because your dog is trying to dominate you. Others say they're just looking for warmth, or that it's simply a bad habit you've let spiral out of control. But the truth is actually much more intense. Your dog isn't trying to be the boss of the bedroom, and they aren't just looking for a heater. They are actually responding to a deep neurological addiction that is hardwired into their DNA. Before we dive into the chemicals literally exploding in your dog's brain right now, if you want to understand your dog on a level most owners never reach, hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep bringing you the science behind your best friend. Now, to understand the 2 a.m. mystery, we have to look past the fur and into the brain. For decades, we assumed dogs slept with us for physical protection. The pack mentality theory suggested that dogs huddle together to stay safe from predators. But modern science has thrown that theory out the window. If protection was the only goal, your dog would sleep facing the door, alert and ready. Instead, they usually sleep with their head buried in your side or their butt pressed against your hip. This isn't a tactical formation, it's a chemical necessity. The breakthrough came from the lab of Dr. Gregory Burns at Emory University. He did something no one thought possible. He trained dogs to sit perfectly still inside an MRI machine while they were fully awake. He wanted to see what actually happened inside a dog's mind when they encountered different stimuli. When the dogs were presented with the smell of their favorite food, their brains lit up. When they saw their owners, their brains lit up even more. But the real shock came when he introduced the scent of their owner's sweat and skin, specifically apocrine pheromones. The moment the dog's nose processed the owner's scent, a specific part of the brain called the nucleus caudate began to fire rapidly. In humans, the nucleus caudate is the reward center. It's the same part of the brain that lights up when we fall in love or when a gambler hits the jackpot. Therefore, your bed isn't just a piece of furniture to your dog. To them, your bed is a giant, glowing cloud of biological pheromones. It is a sensory tank filled with the scent of safety. Your dog ignores the orthopedic bed because, to their brain, that bed is sterile. It's dead air. But your bed? Your bed is a high-octane dose of dopamine and oxytocin. Because the scent of you activates the reward center, the dog's brain begins to suppress the production of cortisol, the stress hormone. Imagine your dog's life for a second. Even the most pampered dog lives in a world they don't fully understand. Loud cars, strange doorbells, and the constant processing of thousands of smells. This keeps their nervous system in a state of low-level hypervigilance. But when they climb onto your mattress and inhale the concentrated scent of your skin, the chemical flip is switched. The dopamine goes up, the cortisol drops. Therefore, they aren't seeking comfort, they are seeking chemical regulation. They are literally using your scent to turn off their anxiety so they can finally reach deep sleep. But wait, there's a second layer to this. Have you ever noticed that your dog doesn't just want to be on the bed, they want to be touching you. Specifically, they often try to press their back against yours or rest their chin on your ankle. This isn't accidental. This is what biologists call nervous system co-regulation. Think of your own body as a biological pacemaker. When you fall into a deep sleep, your heart rate slows down to a steady, rhythmic pace. Your breathing becomes deep and elongated. Your dog, sensing this, presses their body against yours to sync up. Because dogs have a higher resting heart rate than humans, being near a calm, sleeping human acts like a mechanical anchor for their own internal rhythm. If your heart is beating slowly and calmly, your dog's brain interprets this as a signal that the environment is 100% safe. There are no predators. There is no danger. Therefore, their own heart rate begins to drop to match yours. This synchronization is the only way many dogs can enter the REM, or rapid eye movement phase of sleep. This is the stage where the brain processes memory and regulates emotions. Without this anchor provided by your physical presence, many dogs remain in a light, guarding sleep. So, when they steal 80% of the bed and leave you shivering on the edge, they aren't being selfish. They are literally using your biology to repair their own brain. But there is a catch. This ritual is a two-way street. Recent studies have shown that when humans sleep with their dogs, our own heart rates often stabilize more quickly. We share a reciprocal biological feedback loop. But suddenly, we have to ask, is this actually good for them? If a dog becomes too dependent on this biological drug of your presence, it can lead to severe separation anxiety when you leave for work. Their off switch for cortisol is tied entirely to you. This is why some dogs howl the moment you leave. They haven't just lost their friend, they've lost their ability to regulate their own nervous system. So, the next time you wake up at 3 a.m. with a paw in your face and your blankets on the floor, remember what's actually happening. You aren't just a pet owner. You are a walking pharmacy of safety pheromones. You are a biological pacemaker that allows another living being to feel safe in a confusing world. That orthopedic bed might have the best foam in the world, but it doesn't have a heartbeat. It doesn't have the scent of home. Your dog isn't being stubborn. They are performing a survival ritual that dates back tens of thousands of years. They aren't sleeping on your bed because it's soft. They are sleeping there because you are the only thing in the world that makes their brain feel quiet. Sharing your bed isn't a sign of a lack of discipline. It is the ultimate manifestation of trust. Your dog is placing their entire biological well-being into your hands, or rather, into your scent and your rhythm. It is a silent, chemical conversation that happens every night while you're dreaming. It is the most profound thank you a dog can give.